They can spread incredibly quickly and leave a trail of destruction. A huge wildfire destroyed more than 1,000 acres of Dartmoor last year, and today fresh warnings have been issued, with the Dorset and Wiltshire Fire Service Rescue Service raising the concern level to amber. Our environment correspondent Kirk is on Dartmoor tonight.
Well, it's really hard to believe after the wet winter we've had, but rangers here on Dartmoor say that the fire risk now is actually quite high. All it takes is a few days of drying winds for the risk to really start increasing. The fire service says that wildfires on the whole are caused by human intervention. So that's things like camping stoves or barbecues. Now, it was up on the moor behind me here in May last year that we saw that vast wildfire that destroyed more than 1,000 acres. But I've been chatting to farmers here on the moor who say that they are taking action to help prevent the spread of wildfires. They can cover huge areas and wipe out everything in their way.
They're absolutely devastating. I mean, that fire last year, it was in May. You've got all the ground nesting birds, they've got eggs, they've got nests. All your mammals have got young, just everything. They can't get away from the fire, so you end up with them getting burnt. And it is just horrendous. And the environmental damage is just enormous.
As part of the Dartmoor Commoners Council, Tracy May is one of the farmers helping to get Dartmoor wildfire ready.
This is the fire break that we're driving up.
You can see where you've widened it.
Yeah, that's right. And although if you had a fire with wind behind it, it can blow across and jump the fire break. When you've got a wide track like this, it gives you somewhere safe to actually fight the fire.
At this time of year, how much do you worry about the risk of wildfire?
It's continuously on my mind, especially when we have a dry spell. I've got half an eye on the horizon all the time, looking for smoke. I'm like sniffing the air for if I can smell smoke.
Gorse like this can burn incredibly quickly, but so can this. It's a type of grass, and at this time of year, it can be incredibly dry. This is almost like straw, and it really can add fuel to the fire. Around 40 kilometres of new fire breaks have been created on the moor in the last year, alongside access improvements for emergency vehicles.
Well, these fires can be extremely difficult to manage and also extremely dangerous, but also they can travel at very high speeds, up to about 40 miles an hour, so they could outrun a person. So they are very dangerous. So, how high is the risk?
Now we are at quite a high level of fire risk, and it's really important just to remind people that there are no open fires permitted anywhere on Dartmoor throughout the year. And people still do that? They do, unfortunately. Yeah, I think people just forget or don't realise open fires are not permitted at any point on Dartmoor throughout the year. And we're asking people, particularly during these drier sort of seasonal summer months, not to bring instant barbecues and that kind of thing. Leave the barbecue at home, perhaps bring a picnic.
Meanwhile, in Cornwall, there's concern at wildfire hotspot Rosenannan Downs. What sort of impact could a wildfire have in somewhere like this?
Well, obviously the immediate impact is actually on the wildlife itself. So you've got a lot of species that won't be able to get out of the way of the actual fire. And so we've got our reptiles, so you've got grass snakes, adders, slow worms, common lizards, all would struggle to get away. But also you've got ground nesting birds. Although the adults can fly away, their dependent young or their eggs would be incinerated by the flames.
Some fires are set intentionally. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's really frustrating to us. I mean, we try to make our sites as biodiverse as possible, and somebody taking it upon themselves to set fire to it. Obviously, they've got the immediate impact to the wildlife, but also the habitats that's there as well. And here on a site where we had a suspected arson attack last year, we have grazing animals. So we've got wild ponies that graze these sites here, and they were exposed to those flames and were absolutely terrified.
Back on Dartmoor, Tracy May says during weather like this, the worry over wildfires is always there. What would it be like if we had another big fire like the one we had last year?
Well, that was 2 days of everybody out and everybody just out on the moor doing what they could to put the fire out.
Now, the latest stats from Devon and Somerset Fire and Rescue Service are that there have been 8 wildfires so far this year. Now, that compares to 149 in 2025. That was higher than the heatwave year of 2022. Now, it's also been announced today that MPs are going to investigate the growing threat of wildfires across the country. So that is to come. But for now, the message from rangers here on Dartmoor is for people to be vigilant, because if a wildfire does take hold in places like this, they can really let rip.
Kirk, England there.